Sigismundo Pandolfo Malatesta, June 19, 1417, October 7, 1468, popularly known as the Wolf of Rimini, was an Italian condottiero and nobleman, a member of the House of Malatesta and Lord of Rimini, Fano, and Cesena from 1432. He was widely considered by his contemporaries as one of the most daring military leaders in Italy and commanded the Venetian forces in the 1465 campaign against the Ottoman Empire. He was also a poet and patron of the arts. Sigismundo Pandolfo was born in Brescia, northern Italy, the elder of the two illegitimate sons of Pandolfo III Malatesta and Antonia di Aberignani. His younger brother, Malatesta Novello, was born in Brescia on August 5, 1418. An elder, and also illegitimate, half-brother, Galeotto Roberto Malatesta, born in 1411, was the issue of the relationship of their father Pandolfo III with Allegra de Mari. Following the family's tradition, Sigismundo after the death of his father debuted as man-at-arms at the age of 13 against his relative Carlo II Malatesta, Lord of Pesaro and Pope Martin V's ally, who aimed to annex Rimini, Cesena and Fano to his territories. After his victory, Sigismundo obtained, together with his brothers Galeotto Roberto and Domenico, the title of papal vicar for those cities. In 1431, though having inferior forces, he repelled another invasion by the Malatistas of Pesaro. When, soon afterwards, his elder brother abdicated, he became Lord of Rimini, at the age of 15. In 1432 he accepted the command of a papal corps, defeating the Spanish condottiero San Cirillo and thwarting Antonio I de Lafi's attempt to capture Forlì, 1435–36. However, the following year Sigismundo occupied the papal city of Servia and was excommunicated. He was soon pardoned and created commander of the papal army. Later he fought in Romagna and the Marche alongside Francesco Sforza. In the meantime he married his niece Ginevra d'Este, Niccolo III's legitimate daughter by his second wife Berizina Malatesta, first cousin of Sigismundo. On October 12, 1440 she died, and rumors spread that she had been poisoned by Sigismundo. 2 years later he married Polissena Sforza, Francesco I's illegitimate daughter. They had 2 children, a son, Galeotto, born in 1442 and who only lived a few months, and a daughter, Giovanna, born in 1444 and later Duchess of Camerino by marriage. In this period he fought several times against the other condottiero Niccolo Piccinino, first, in 1437, as a Venetian commander, he was defeated at Calzonaro Saloglio. Later, while defending his lands from the papal invasion army led by Piccinino, Federico III da Montefeltro and Malatesta Novello, he crushed them at Montefeltro, managing to obtain some territories of Pesaro, although the latter was successfully defeated by Federico's forces. In his restlessness he betrayed Sforza twice, but he also betrayed his momentary ally against him, Niccolo Piccinino. Enmity against Sforza turned into true hatred when his father-in-law bought the signory of Pesaro from Carlo Malatesta. Therefore, Sigismundo allied with Pope Eugene IV and the Sforza Duke of Milan. Later, he was hired by King Alfonso V of Naples, but soon afterwards received money for a condotta to be spent in the service of Florence against Alfonso. In 1445 he forced the Neapolitans to raise the siege of Piombino in Tuscany. In 1449 his second wife Polissena died under mysterious circumstances. Francesco Sforza claimed that Sigismundo had had her drowned by one of his servants, but this has remained unconfirmed. During his 2 marriages, he had numerous mistresses, but only 2 were well known: Vanetta de' Toschi, who bore him a son, Roberto, in 1441, and Isida degli Atti, who bore him 4 children: Giovanni, who died in infancy; Margherita, later wife of Carlo di Forbraccio, Salustio, and Antonia, also called Anna, later the first wife of Rodolfo Gonzaga, Lord of Castiglione del Stiviere, who beheaded her in 1483 when she was discovered in adultery. After 1449, Malatesta served variously under Venice, Florence, Siena, Naples, and Sforza himself. The Peace of Lodi, 1454, from which he was excluded, pushed the major Italian powers against him. His territories were repeatedly invaded by Aragonese, Venetian, and Papal troops. In 1456 Sigismondo married Isida degli Atti, his longtime mistress, and legitimized their 3 surviving children. The only son, Salustio, was declared his heir. On December 25, 1460, a famous trial in absentia was held in Rome against Sigismondo. Pope Pius II, who considered him guilty of treachery towards Siena arising from his long-running feud with Federico da Montefeltro, Duke of Urbino, excommunicated him, declaring him a heretic and attributing to Sigismondo a series of sins: incest, sodomy against his son Roberto, and others, which smeared his reputation for centuries. In a unique ceremony, he was canonized into hell with a curse: "No mortal heretofore has descended into hell with the ceremony of canonization. Sigi shall be the first deemed worthy of such honor." The art critic and historian Robert Hughes contrasted Sigismondo's patronage of art with the story that his excommunication was a distinction he earned by trussing up a papal emissary, the 15-year-old Bishop of Fano, and publicly sodomizing him before his applauding army in the main square of Rimini. Malatesta's image was publicly burned in Rome, and a de facto crusade was then launched against him, in a league including the Pope, the King of Naples, the Duke of Milan, and Federico da Montefeltro. He defeated the first contingent of papal troops, led by Napoleone Orsini, on July 2, 1461 at Castiglione di Suassa. In 1462 he was able to take Senigallia, but was forced to flee to Fano after the arrival of Federico da Montefeltro. The latter followed and severely crushed him on August 12, 1462 near Senigallia at the mouth of the Cesano. The war ended in 1463, due to the intervention of Venice, with the loss of all Sigismondo's territories apart from Rimini and a territory of some 8 kilometers around it. Both, however, were assigned to return to the Papal States after his death. He then sought greater fortune as a general for Venice in its war against the Ottomans, as a field commander in the Peloponnesus, 1464–1466. The Venetians granted him a contingent of 150 men to defend Rimini and his other lands during his absence. In an attempt to reverse this situation, Sigismondo appears to have intended to murder Pius' successor, Pope Paul II, who had asked him to exchange Rimini for Spoleto and Camerino, in 1468, but he lost his nerve and returned to Rimini. He died in his residence of Castel Sismondo a few months later. He was succeeded by his legitimated son and heir Salustio, under the regency of his mother Isida, but 1 year later, 1469, his illegitimate son Roberto, also a skilled condottiero, managed briefly to maintain control over Rimini.